Once a campaign promise is now official, President-elect Donald Trump has appointed Tesla CEO Elon Musk and former GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy as the new co-heads of a new unit, the Department of Government Efficiency. Here to unpack what all of this means is Axios reporter Nathan Bomey. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us today. All right, let's start out with this kind of so-called new department, if you will. What do you make of this Department of Government Efficiency?
Well, this is something that President Trump, the president-elect Trump, has been planning for quite a while in conjunction with Elon Musk, who has really been intensely focused on this idea that there's enormous waste within the federal government and that he wants to come in and slash and dash. Now, if you look at what Elon Musk did at Twitter, for example, when he acquired it, he very quickly and dramatically slashed the number of employees there. And so I think that he's got a bit of a playbook and thinks that he can apply that private sector playbook to the public sector.
But as I understand it, this is not technically a new department. So what kind of how would he actually be empowered?
Yeah, that's a good point. This is specifically intended to be housed outside of government. And so in a lot of ways, it's really just sort of an advisory type of situation here, which means that government doesn't really have to do anything that they recommend. But we know that if President Trump is listening to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, then he's going to potentially implement some of the recommendations. Now, I think it's going to be a lot easier said than done because the federal government bureaucracy is extremely entrenched and very difficult to cut down. And so we'll have to see if they can actually pull off some of the things that they're saying they're going to do.
And then when there was kind of initially rumors, et cetera, about Elon's role with the new administration, why Elon and Vivek and not just Elon as initially thought?
Certainly, a lot of folks are joking that if you want a government efficiency commission, it's a little bit strange to have two people leading the commission. That doesn't seem extremely efficient. But I think that, he obviously wants to give a significant role to both people, but perhaps neither wants to be subject to the type of disclosure rules that come with an official government position. Of course, Elon Musk has massive holdings throughout the economy, and so doesn't want to have to unwind those or put them in any sort of trust, anything like that. So this makes it much easier for him to go about this business.
Speaking of already kind of some reaction to this move, Senator Elizabeth Warren posting on X, seeming to kind of poke fun at this, as to your point of being run by two people instead of one, to your point about efficiency. So how are Democrats as a whole looking at this?
Well, I think that they're quite upset, and I think they're going to push back as much as they can because they view what the federal government does as beneficial to the public. And I think one of the big questions here is going to be, how are they able to do dramatic cuts to the federal government without touching Social Security and Medicare? Because the truth is that when you look at the federal budget, a substantial portion are those benefits to retirees, Social Security and Medicare. And if you don't touch those, or the military budget, you're really not going to be able to make a huge dent on the federal budget. Now, even if they do something like eliminate the Department of Education, which many Republicans have talked about over the years, that's not going to make a huge dent. It's not going to, eliminate the federal deficit or, make a big dent on the national debt. So I don't know how they're going to be able to substantially reduce the size of government without touching those, those things that a lot of people have never wanted to touch over the years.
One of the criticisms of Elon Musk, especially when it comes to shareholder criticism, has been he's stretched thin. Like he took over Twitter, gutted it, et cetera. But then there was worry about his role at Tesla. And now this is basically another job, another big role. So what is the view of that? I mean, is the public, or even, when you think about kind of Wall Street, are they receptive to this idea?
Well, I saw an analyst note this morning from Wedbush Securities analyst Dan Ives, who said he thinks this is ultimately beneficial to Tesla in particular because Elon Musk will have the ear of President Trump and will be able to influence him. And so ultimately that could have a positive effect. I think there's no doubt that having Elon Musk having a good relationship with Donald Trump could also benefit SpaceX, because SpaceX relies heavily on government contracts from NASA. But to your point, the question of whether he is stretched too thin and is not focused on his other businesses, I think is a good question. I do think it's important to note, however, that with a company like SpaceX, for example, Gwen Shotwell, who's the president of SpaceX, she's the one who's really running that company. Elon Musk comes in, provides the vision, and provides some long-term thought on where they should go, and certainly is influential there. But it's Gwen Shotwell who's running that company, and I think some of his other companies also have people in place who are really running the day-to-day business. So I don't know that some of his companies will necessarily be hurt by the fact that he's going to be doing this.
What are the rules of the road here, since this is not an official government agency, and he won't have to do the typical disclosures or have to move anything into a trust, as you mentioned? You wonder if there's some risk, especially when you think about financial conflict of interest risk. What are the rules of the road here with regard to this, or is this still unclear?
I think we're in uncharted territory because we just haven't seen any presidents in the past really stand up a significant external effort funded by who knows what, and having a really direct influence on the government. Usually you see this sort of thing housed under the auspices of the White House. And so I think we're in uncharted territory, but that's certainly the roadmap that President-elect Trump has designed in the past. So in that sense, it's no surprise. I think we have to see what are Elon and Vivek's actual influence? How does it actually play out? Because they can make these recommendations, but then will the department heads actually implement them? And will there be resistance in Washington? The federal bureaucracy, the people who are in Washington are going to resist significant cuts. And so this could be quite the battle ahead.
Could this potentially be a toothless unit? I mean, yes, we know Musk and the president-elect have a strong relationship, but in terms of the power of this unit, is it essentially toothless?
It is toothless unless President-elect empowers the people who are actually in the government to follow those recommendations. But I do think there's a good possibility that not much happens here. I mean, I think if you look at Elon Musk, he has a long track record of getting very obsessed and focused on specific things and then moving on at some point. And so whether that happens here, I'm not sure. Also, we have to keep a close eye on the health of the relationship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Right. Both of them obviously in good terms right now, but they both have track records of huge falling outs with the people that they work closely with. Will they be able to stay on good terms? We don't know.
Absolutely. And one of the hallmarks of the president-elect, former president, first term, was famously firing many people. What are the odds this department remains for the entire, his entire tenure, for all 4 years, or even that Musk will run it and Vivek stay on with it?
Well, actually, President-elect Trump has actually said that he's designing this commission to sunset on July 4th, 2026, which would be the 250th birthday of the country. So he says this will be some sort of birthday gift to the country. So we'll see if it actually even makes it that far. I don't know. I think another thing to keep an eye on here with the relationship between Trump and Musk is the fact that, Elon Musk cares about something like climate change, for example. President Trump hasn't signaled much of a desire to do anything there. Will they have clashes over that? Will they have clashes over AI? We just don't know. I mean, there are so many different elements of this friendship that are still pretty new, and we have to see how they actually unfolds over time.
And anything else that we should keep in mind when it comes to this new department that also seems to have the acronym Doge, an homage, I guess, to Elon Musk's favorite crypto?
Well, it's funny you mentioned crypto because obviously the crypto community is pretty thrilled at what's happened here with the re-election of Donald Trump, and we've seen Bitcoin hit the new records. Dogecoin has also increased in value. I don't know that this commission is going to have much to do with crypto, but certainly there is a lot of hope out there that that crypto is now here to stay and is going to continue to go through the roof.
Well, we will certainly watch what unfolds with regard to this new unit, the Department of Government Efficiency, and see if it actually does contribute to some efficiency. We'll put a pin in our conversation. Our thanks to Axios reporter Nathan Bomey. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.